Wait, 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 wait.
And 14.
Dad, I see you on the camera.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's the. There you go. That's a thumbs up.
Truck one time. Okay, so we'll make sure we got 6 thin ones so we get done there. Since I got that before we ever got started. Okay, Chica, back in.
Hop up there. Put it in second.
Yeah, put it in gear.
And they're in a gear, and then push.
Success!
So yeah, recap number 2. That's not how cars work, but that's how this one's gonna work until I can get the time and the effort, and I have the parts to rip the entire bottom off that car and change the clutch. So success. We would not have made it back from Wyoming in any stretch of imagination, maybe. Or I could have held the clutch down in 6th gear. I mean, yeah, that might have worked at gas stations.
Yeah, you could have.
About, I would say,
Let's find out. Let's go ahead.
I'd say 20 years ago for him, 10 years ago for me, we would have done that. You know, but I don't think that I could do it right now. Anyway, yeah, cleanup time. Thanks for standing by for this outrageous, stupid, I hate cars. But we're going to clean up, and we're getting back. And Jack got Batman sunglasses, and so he's running away, but they're very cool. Yeah, we're going back to Japan here in a couple days, and
that's my watch.
And he got a Batman watch. He doesn't know where it's at right now. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna clean up, and we'll see you guys next time when we're back in Japan. Okay. Quick recap. I didn't get to do a lot of filming. We didn't get to do a lot of explaining exactly what happened when we were in Utah, Wyoming. That whole fiasco. Not a fiasco. An adventure. A life lesson, if you will. But yeah, obviously we're back in Okinawa. Beautiful backdrop behind us. We're at the seawall area. We drove from Utah to Wyoming. Easy. Corvette did amazing. We get there and we're explored. We looked at some land and just kind of enjoyed the town. And we were going to go to dinner one night, and I went to go push the clutch in, and the pedal went and just made this terrible noise. And I'm like, oh boy! And so something broke, you know. And I was pretty sure that based on what it felt like, that this master cylinder had popped or something. That was my hope, because the inside of the bell housing is where everything else is at, and you can't get to that because torque tube. So I spent a bunch of time, and that is in the previous video, but changed the master cylinder out, and then I had to bleed it, and that was just the most terrible nightmare ever trying to bleed that. But I did it, and I got it bled, but it didn't work. The clutch still didn't work. So we just called it a day, and we went and got the rental car. We just drove back to Utah. My dad and I built over the course of several years, built that large tow truck. It used to be a U-Haul truck, and we've got a lift bed on it. It was really neat. We'd never really tested it. And so it just sat, and we ended up driving that back to Wyoming with the rental car on the back of it, because I had to turn in locally. Get unloaded, get them switched. Then a tornado/hailstorm was imminently hitting Cheyenne, Wyoming, so we had to get out of there. And sorry, I'm looking everywhere else because it's windy, whatever. So we had to get out of there. Okay, no big deal. So we're flying back to Utah, driving, but in a truck. And a couple times on the way to Wyoming, it made this noise. My dad's like, oh, maybe it's a spark plug. I'm like, maybe it's a coil pack. And we're trying to convince ourselves of the truth, even though we know what it was. It was fuel. It was a fuel concern. And the truck had previously had the fuel pump changed out. My dad changed it out 6 months ago, and no problem. And so we're driving, and it's just getting worse, and it's worse. And we are pulling these hills, and Wyoming's got the sisters, the big mountaintop things, whatever, and it's just hating life. and we're down to 40 miles an hour on the freeway. And if you go over 2,000 RPMs, it was just cutting out. So we coast into Rawlins, Wyoming, and they had O'Reilly's. They were there. So we get this gas station truck dies, and we're like, well, it needs a fuel pump that we're not going to find. There's no way they're going to have a C5500 fuel pump assembly locally in Wyoming. There's no way, and they didn't. So we're like, well, the tank's really easy. It's a big side, like saddle tank almost. And so we're like, okay, we'll get the pump out, see what's going on. And so we get the pump out, and it is just dripping with rust. It's just the rustiest, nastiest water or gas you've ever seen. And we're like, what is going on? Do we get a bad batch of gas somewhere? And it occurred to us that for the 5 years that I've owned that big truck, it's got a 120-gallon gas tank, and I am not going to have 120 gallons sitting around going bad. So I left it low, 10, 20 gallons, and the tank rusted inside. So when I drove and we filled it full of gas, it washed the rust down into the fuel, plugged up the sock on the fuel pump, and that's where we're at. So we're like, oh God. So there was no socks at O'Reilly's. We ended up prying it off. I don't think it's meant to come off. We used brake clean. We got it all cleaned out best we could. We put a new spin-on fuel filter on it, and we put it back together, got a hotel, and next morning, fired up, worked out great. And I'm like, okay, whatever, let's just go home, So it was my dad, myself, Chica, and my son Jack were all, it was this whole adventure. I grew up in adventures like that, though, so that's the thing, like, so many times my dad was hauling cars, we had some terrible truck that brakes would be on fire, and like, we gotta jump out, and like things like that. But I grew up that way. Oh, it's windy. Hope this mic is working, we'll see. But yeah, I grew up that way. It was fun. You learn a lot. And so, okay, no problem. We get home, and I was leaving Utah, but I can't leave a busted clutch, immovable Corvette in my dad's back lot. So we okay, we got to figure it out. And we ended up using the ramps of the truck. We drove the Corvette up onto the back of it and crawled underneath it. It worked out pretty good, actually. And we pulled there's a big inspection plate, pulled that down, and found out that like the pressure plate itself had broken. There's like multiple segments of little fingers, and one of them had either a rivet broke or a weld snapped something, and it broke. And so it was keeping constant pressure on the clutch. So we did some thinking, and we mocked it up, and we spaced out the pressure plate with little shims, and which made it slip in gear when it was running. But if you push the clutch in, it would apply pressure to the clutch disc, and it would tighten up. So you have to drive it in gear, pushing the clutch, it moves. It's the whole thing. So yeah, it's not something I could have driven back from Wyoming. And but yeah, we got it back. It's all back together. But yeah, I just wanted to do a recap because yeah, we didn't get a lot of filming because it was just this like, we just wanted to get home. We've been eating trash food for 3 days, and yeah, so this is gonna go somewhere in a video. Probably not a standalone video. Maybe we'll chop this down. Good luck, Chica. She's holding the camera right now, so but anyhow, yeah, we just wanted to, it's a weekend, we're just popping out real quick. But yeah, it's good to be back in Okinawa. I do miss lots of things about America, but I also miss things about here, so it is what it is. But yeah, this is the outside in Tsunabe, Okinawa, and this is just beach, Saturday morning, no big deal. But we'll probably cut it here, and we'll do some filler footage, maybe some like garage footage. I broke Chica's car the other day. Trying to help her, try to fix it. Broke it worse, whatever. We'll film some of that later. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and hope you enjoyed this terrible, yeah, back to Toyota life. 4 Chevys we had hands-on in the States, and I love Chevy through and through. And all 4 of these Chevys are broke, like Corvette, tow truck, my dad's tracker, and my dad's truck had a fuel leak smell. But yeah, we're back to Toyotas where just the front ends are falling apart, so no big deal. But yeah, we hope this audio works at all, or it's not just because in the previous video when I'm walking from the hotel to get the rental car and I'm holding the camera and there was a train in the background, I think there was some sort of like vibrations. Something was causing the sound waves to not like themselves, and the audio is horrendous. So I apologize for the subtitles in the previous video, but this is what you get when you tune into fishohyeah. Okay, have a good day.